This week I once again asked you to send me your indie games so I can give you some constructive feedback on them. As always, you've sent me so much awesome stuff, I don't even know where to start. I'll just play as many games as possible and hopefully give you some useful feedback. Let's go. The first game is called TTR001, which I chose completely at random. I see I can teleport back to the teleport device at any time. Use X to operate switch and terminals. I see, so it's a teleport-based puzzle game. I would say that the acceleration and deceleration of the robot is too slow. I mean, you can't even jump. It's not a movement-based game, it's a puzzle game. So there's no need for a momentum-based system like this. Oh, did I mess up? Seems like it. Due to the fact that I can't jump, the game also feels a little bit one-dimensional at the moment. Everything's just happening in one dimension, which is not necessarily wrong, but it's also giving away a little bit of potential, I think. Oh, the one on the very right never turns off. Once it's on, it stays on. This flips all of the lasers around. That's a bit confusing. I'm not entirely sure what each button does, because this one clearly does something else. You can't even see the entire puzzle. How? This is quite a difficulty spike. Okay. Maybe like this? Yes. What? Did you see that? Why did the laser turn on when I teleport? The laser on the very right is off. Now when I teleport there, it's suddenly on again. Oh, that feels like a bug. I'm not sure how I did that, but that's the solution. Déjà vu? Easy peasy. Rocket jump? Oh, are we starting to use the second dimension now? Let's try to get as much momentum as possible. I think with enough momentum you can get over there. Not quite. Interesting. I'm intrigued. Oh, okay, that felt a bit glitchy. Thank you for playing. Okay, that's it. So quick feedback, I would make sure to use 2 dimensions in a 2D game. Doesn't need to be a traditional jump. Perhaps you can connect that to the teleporter somehow. That'd be cool. For example, if you place the teleporter, what if you basically throw the teleporter upwards and that's how you can get upwards to higher places? Or perhaps every time you teleport towards the teleporter, your character jumps after that. Just something that allows you to use verticality in your level design, because otherwise your levels will always stay very one-dimensional. And that just limits what you can do. Other than that, actually really nice. I really like the puzzles. I really like the idea with the teleporter. Cool mechanic. Very, very nice. Oh, this looks nice. Such a shame if you lose progress on a project like that.
A couple of weeks ago, I lost my project to corrupted files. So I'm taking a little break from developing Ironjaw Taverns.
That must be so annoying. Okay, seems like this is outside of the level. Okay, I'm assuming I can build my dwarf tavern here, right? So let's start the tavern here. Now I can create a room here. Build room, accept. Okay, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do. But a dwarf is already in my tavern and seems pretty confused and lost. Wood, nice. I can turn these walls into wood. Yeah, this definitely looks like a project that's pretty tough to take on your own.
I think this is a blessing in disguise because this project was a little bit too much for me to work on by myself. I really need to tone it down when it comes to my game ideas so that I can actually release my second title.
I can't really figure out how to build something here. My main feedback is that I don't understand. Like, I think I'm supposed to build a tavern, but I don't understand how. Here. Maybe I should read the tooltips. Purchase room space after selected a worker will mine it. Okay, so a worker needs to mine it. I'm not sure how to select workers or how to get workers. Employees. Can I hire one? Yes. Hire. Get to work. Okay. And they have alcohol levels. And I can fire them as well if I want. Pillars. What happens if I put pillars here? Nothing. Okay. Maybe that feature is not implemented yet. Come, my customers. Come. Do I need to hire new people? Worker. Let's turn this into a barkeeper and this into a barkeeper. Okay, it seems like it's working already. Pretty cool. Make this a nice wooden tavern. I can see potential in this. But I definitely agree that's a little bit of a big project. I guess the main lessons to learn from this is back up your project regularly and don't overscope. The problem with simulation games like this is that they rely pretty heavily on content. At some point the player has done all of the things that there are to do, and the only way you can extend the playtime is basically by adding more and more content. This game has quite a strong fantasy and therefore has already quite a bit of appeal. However, to be honest, I'm not sure if as a solo developer you can create enough content to make this kind of game work. If so, it would probably take quite a while. Perhaps you can find find a way to increase your team size, maybe a Kickstarter, who knows. Otherwise, I'd try to reduce the complexity of this game a little bit and make it less focused on the simulation aspect of the game, find a different focus, and try to find a game loop that is fun without having tons and tons of content. Moonlight Maze by Mushroom Games. Let's play the tutorial. Oh. It's not a playable tutorial. Playable tutorials are always a bit nicer. Okay, so enemies and the player will move at the same time. I think that is something I would have figured out myself. The second enemy type will rotate in a fixed position. I feel like all of that is all the stuff you could have just explained in the game by putting a little text in the game at the correct moment. Would have been pretty much the same amount of effort and would have been a nicer result. Oh my god, look at that art. It looks so very nice. Look at that. Okay, I can see. I have 10 steps left, and what do I need to do in that amount of steps? You were captured. Ah, I'm not the guy with the sword. I'm this creature here. That makes sense. I did it. I made it to the door. Wait a sec. Why was I captured there? Ah, because I was seen. Damn it. The way you have to restart the level is a little bit annoying. I would just make the levels restart automatically, because the entire game can be played with the keyboard, and then I don't want to switch back to the mouse every time I need to restart, and also it costs too much time. Ah, okay. They are just constantly rotating, but they can also see infinitely far. Dang it. Okay. I did it. This would already be difficult enough even without the move limit. That's a pretty nice puzzle. I like it. It looks so nice. Why does this game look so beautiful? No, that doesn't work. It's a very good example of how you can make an awesome game with a couple of very simple rules, right? But by the way, this is a really good puzzle, because what in my opinion makes for a good puzzle is if you can see all of the information you need on one screen. Like, this is not complicated. This is very little information. This is easy enough that you can understand everything that's going on. But the solution is not obvious. Like, there's obviously some sort of trick to that solution that I haven't found yet. So in terms of puzzle design, this is very nice. Oh! I glitched the enemy outside of the field. I don't think that counts. Here, I'll restart. An undo button would be nice as well, because sometimes I just press the wrong button. Now I have 7 moves. That's not enough. 5 hours later. That's always a little bit of a problem in puzzle games, how you can handle people getting stuck. Not quite sure what the best way to go about this is either. So I'd say this is definitely a very nice game to learn from in terms of puzzle design, because the puzzles are very small, they're very simple, but they're still pretty difficult to solve. Perhaps there should be a hint function, perhaps there should be a way to proceed if you really get stuck for a very long time. I'd really be curious to see the solution for this now. I just can't figure it out. Cool game. I like. Next up is a mobile game called Powerlust. As I've said, I won't be playing any mobile games, but I can still give you feedback on the store page and on the trailer. And first of all, this game looks amazing. Like, I think I've seen this a couple of times before on Twitter. Just had a look at the trailer as well. I would say in the trailer you don't need all of that text at the bottom, because the gameplay really communicates quite well what the game is. You can see what the game is about, learn new spells, find awesome gear, look out for traps. All of that is pretty much communicated in the gameplay anyway, so the text doesn't necessarily convey any new information. You can pretty much assume that all of those things are in the game anyway. Procedural dungeons, that is something you cannot necessarily see from the gameplay footage, so perhaps that text can stay in there. Tip number 2 for the trailer: add sound effects, because it's kind of lacking sound effects at the moment, and sound effects can make this feel a lot more juicy and powerful for sure. On the plus side, I want to say the trailer feels like it has just the correct length. It is 30 seconds long, which doesn't feel too long, it doesn't feel too short. It's a very nice length for a mobile game trailer. Oh, the effects look so awesome. And then of course here, fight a boss. We can see that you're fighting a boss, so no need to put the text there. And then here the final shot, download now, with the menu in the background. Feels a little bit unpolished as a final shot. Perhaps you can just use the background of the menu, especially at the end of the trailer where you really want to end with a bang. That feels kind of unpolished to me. Why not use the background image you used for the menu and then just put the text on top of that or something like that. That icon here, I'd argue, probably looks a little small and finicky when it's scaled down a bit, right? I'm not sure how big big these icons usually are. But in general, it's quite intriguing. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on mobile games. On the plus side, it definitely pops out. It definitely looks different than all of these other mobile game icons here. Like most of them have a very, very different style. Yours, at the very least, looks different. And then this text, honestly, is not that important because who reads that anyway? This game is under active development. As I said, I don't have a lot of experience with publishing on mobile. I wonder if it's a good idea to publish in development mobile games, because obviously bugs will quite heavily tank your review score, and from what I can tell down here, most of the people who are giving lower star reviews are encountering bugs of some sort. Powerlust is an action RPG roguelike with a dark atmosphere. And then we have a bunch of development roadmap stuff. I would definitely put that at the bottom. Maybe put a little disclaimer here that the game is still under active development, and then this should be further up. Like what to expect here, for example, procedurally generated dungeons, that should be further up. That's stuff that can convince people to download the game. I feel like some of these points can probably just be removed. Plenty of enemies. We can see that in the trailer. Skill-based gameplay and combat, and then in combination. Okay, those two together make sense then, I guess. Okay, very nice. I feel like there's unfortunately not a lot more I can say about this, but it looks very cool. Here's a game called Double Invasion by Goose Games, which will come out on Steam. Would have put a Steam link in the description, but unfortunately the Steam store page is not up and running yet, so I can't do that. Cute. I've got a bad feeling about this place. Oh, you want to conquer it. Oh no. Oh no. Very interesting. Okay, I can go hint, retry, main, or hub. Okay, what the hell is this? I'm so confused by this game. Okay, now I can move. Okay, I need to collect all of these things. What happened? Did I cure the lungs? I'm so confused. What is that green thing and what is it shooting at? Give me a hint. Oh, there's no hint. Is this the hub? Okay, now this again. Sure, I'll collect all of these thingies. Can I not go somewhere from here? No, not the same thing again. Well, seems like very early in the game I'm already stuck. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to do. So far what I can say about this is the intro was very cute. Overall the art is very cute. One thing that's a little strange about the art, but perhaps that's the desired art style, I feel like it kind of works in this game, is that you use pixel art where all of the pixel sizes are different. Like sometimes the pixels are really huge, sometimes the pixels are really small. Usually I feel like that doesn't really work. For some reason here it works a little better, because you do it in a way where I feel like you did it on purpose, where you zoom in really, really close to a character and it gets really, really pixelated. And that feeling that you did it on purpose makes it less obnoxious to me, and I'm willing to tolerate it a lot more. And then of course, I mean, I just don't know what to do. I got stuck. If someone purchases your game and has that kind of experience on Steam, that will be a refund. So perhaps I'm just stupid, but for those cases you gotta make sure that people just know what they have to do so they don't get stuck, especially not that early in your game. I think the game already looks quite unique and interesting. It definitely stands out. It's something different. I've never played anything like this, and that is definitely a big advantage. Here is Cosmos by Citybuilder Games, which can be played in the browser. So far I've chosen all of the games completely at random, just clicked on random emails. Very, very glowy, almost looks like fog. T is for tutorial. I don't think there's any sound. Oh yeah, there's sound. Okay, you jump higher when you're on walls. Oh, and you can fire. Oh, and there's lava coming up. Walking on the walls works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. A wall below me appears, probably to stop me from falling too far down. Like I would like to have some better feedback for when I'm attached to a wall. The game quickly restarts when you lose, which is something I appreciate. Okay, here we have new enemies, but they still die in a couple of shots, which is nice because it makes the gun feel powerful. Where's the last one? Here. Interesting touch that some of the enemies are walking on walls. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of these rock barriers. I feel like if your levels have this tower-like architecture, then why would you get rid of the tower-like architecture by putting in these vertical walls? You know, why not use a horizontal level if you don't want players to fall down? What's the advantage of this level shape for this game? Actually, the controls feel kind of nice once you get used to them. Took me a while to get used to them. Honestly, at the beginning they felt a little strange. Now I'm starting to get the hang of it. Actually, I personally would prefer if I could fall down. Problem then, of course, is that the enemies can fall down as well. But a lot of your enemies can't fall down anyways. It's mostly these blue ones that can fall down. I like the fact that you're slowly introducing new enemies. I'm not getting bored. It's nice. I feel like at the beginning you could have introduced a new enemy a little faster. Now I feel like the difficulty curve is pretty nice. I like the look of the game. Like the feel of the game. Okay, and the lava even stops here. Interesting. One thing you could consider is that the lava could also just kill the enemies, and then if an enemy falls down, it's gonna get killed by the lava anyway, so I don't need to worry about it. And just contextually speaking, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me yet. Why would a line of rock disappear once I killed all of the enemies? Perhaps this line of rock, perhaps you could replace that by something a little different. Maybe a very long vertical enemy that disappears when I've killed all of the enemies in this area. In rising lava makes sense, but rocks that appear and disappear out of nowhere, it breaks the immersion more than necessary. Okay, here we have a new enemy. Random flower at the top. That looks pretty cool. Oh. The recoil pushes you backwards. I didn't notice that. That's a nice touch. Can I also jump higher when I shoot downwards? Oh yeah, that is a very, very nice touch. I appreciate that. Cool. Feedback. We'll take the feedback form. First of all, putting a feedback form at the end of your game, that is always a good idea. And I think Jonas just wants to say that putting the feedback form at the end of your game will unfortunately make your results quite biased, because only the people who make it through the game will answer your feedback form then. That means you'll mainly collect data from people who like your game and not from the people who disliked your game. It was definitely fun, interesting and challenging. How hard was the game? Actually just right. As I've said, I would probably make the recoil a bit stronger, especially when using it to jump higher, because that is a really cool effect. It's there, but it's hard to notice at the moment. Whereas the vertical recoil that pushes you off a platform, that can feel a little frustrating, so perhaps that could be a little bit weaker. Add more enemy variety early on. Because once there is a certain amount of enemy variety, it is really, really fun and cool. I would really try to rethink those vertical walls. If they stop the player from falling down and also from progressing upwards, then what exactly is the purpose of the tower-like level design? Yeah, sure, it allows you to do the lava thing. By the way, I do like the tower-like level design. I think that is a strength of the game. It makes it interesting, it makes it unique. I feel like you're not playing into those strengths with those horizontal rocks that are blocking the path. I feel like that is weakening one of the strengths of your game. But I mean, in case you decide to keep them, then I would at the very least rethink if you can maybe contextualize them to something else. Yeah, those are the main things. Let's play Final Guardian. I already start out with 5 different weapons, which is kind of cool. Now the question is, what else? Use space to jump. Ah, here I can see objective. Perhaps that should be a little more visible at the beginning. I'm not really sure what is the best weapon against each enemy. Ah, okay, with E I can switch into build mode. Interesting. How many of these catapults can I build? Cool. So I can defend this myself, and I can also build defenses. Where can I see my money though? Where can I see how much stuff I can build? Press O. Why O? O is like really far away on the keyboard. I feel like the bow is probably one of the best weapons just because it pierces through enemies. I died, but now I know how this works. Now I can build a better defense. I don't know what this up here means. 10, 11, 12. I have no idea. I'm noticing there's a blue bar and a red bar here. Oh, wait a second. What the hell is this? Is this a different level than before? Oh. Ah, you're reviving me. Oh. Why do I have cannons now? But why can I not build any cannons? Ah, okay, I'm in level 10. Personally, my main problem with this at the moment is that I don't quite understand a couple of things. Oh yeah, and enemy HP bars would be great as well. Because if there were enemy HP bars, then I could tell how much damage I'm dealing, and then it would be way easier for me to figure out what is the best weapon to counter which kind of enemy. I don't even know at the moment if this is a good weapon to fight this enemy. But if I saw an HP bar, there would be a way to figure it out. Restart. And once again, I'm restarting in level 11, but without any defenses. Some things in this game are really intuitive. For example, the inventory down here and switching between weapons with hotkeys, stuff like that are quite easy to understand for me. Here, I'm fulfilling the quest. Oh, use Q to switch materials. See, the objectives teach me that. Ah, I see. And of course, these chests encourage me to move around a little bit more. Also, they give me resources, and now I might have enough wood to build some more stuff. Oh, I can upgrade the turrets! I didn't know! Oh god, what is this? This can't be good. But I feel like there's no way I will ever defeat this, because I'm always starting at level 11 or 13 or something like that. I'm level 14. I'm at level 20, but I'm starting out at wave 1. Okay. Oh, and maybe this is my own health bar then? Why is that so hard to understand? I'm not sure. Yeah, I was just confused by the UI there. Interesting. My main point of critique for this one would be that it's too hard to understand, and if you have that little amount of information, then it's also not possible to do anything strategically. Like, I didn't know which kind of weapons I had to build in order to defeat which kinds of enemies, or which weapons I had to use in order to defeat which kinds of enemies. The game doesn't tell me. Also, I wonder, are there even different strategies you can play? Cause there are 4 different resources, and every resource just allows you to build one kind of tower. In terms of the turrets you build, there are not even that many different strategies you can go for, which I guess is fine. It can still provide you with that power fantasy of slowly building up a giant defense and nothing will ever be able to get through. But then perhaps at the very least the weapons you use yourself should have different upsides and downsides, and they probably do. I just don't know which up and downsides they have, and I feel like the game should do a better job communicating that. In terms of the art style, I would say pretty nice. I especially like the colors of the game. Looks nice, looks high quality, looks like some effort went into it. And then here, of course, it'd be nice to know what that means as well. What does the blue circle mean? And then what does this health bar mean? This is probably the health of the core. But why not communicate that a little better by putting that diamond next to that bar or something like that? I just wanna know a little better what all of these things do here. That circle, what does that circle do? I have absolutely no idea. And then why do I start at wave 4 now? I want more clarity on what things do. This game is nice, very, very nice. I like it. I like tower defense games. It just doesn't explain itself very well. So that is the main thing I would work on. Next up, we have a VR game that can apparently also be played in non-VR. And I've got to say, this already looks super funny. And look at that. Is that VR footage? That looks like it would be super fun to play in VR. And what the hell is Dumbledore doing in this trailer? Why is there Dumbledore? Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird resolution. That is not native resolution. No. This menu here is quite unique and cool. Seems like you can also create your own levels or whatever this is, but it's locked. Oh yeah! Are you ready? I'm kinda disappointed that there's no giant Gandalf. Oh, and I can restart with enter. Big plus points for that. I don't have to switch back and forth between mouse and keyboard all of the time. Character really takes a while to perform all of these moves if I press to the side. It's not performed super instantly. Everything feels like it has a little bit of delay. It's quite hard. And here's something very interesting I noticed is that the background is not moving at all, right? And I think the main reason for that is to prevent motion sickness in VR, right? If the entire level is moving in VR, that can oftentimes lead to motion sickness. So this is a pretty interesting way to get around this problem. I feel like you could ramp up the saturation a bit. Might not hurt. Have to time this so perfectly. Unfortunately, I feel like this is not a game a lot of people will be interested in when not playing in VR. I feel like this can be very cool in VR. The VR footage we saw of this... Oh my god, how did it do that? The VR footage we saw of that looked pretty cool. Here's something about these spikes. The problem with those spikes is you can't really see the spikes that come after that very well. Barrels and stuff like that work a lot better. Can you see? Every time there are these spikes, you can't really see what's behind these spikes, especially when they're in the center. Character, by the way, is animated really nicely. These collectibles on the right there are baiting me every single time. No! Why did I collect them? And why does the game always play into such an ugly blue when the level restarts? Just... I'd go for black. Or white. Now here you can see what I mean with the spikes. You can't really see how many spikes there are or what's behind these spikes. It's pretty hard to see. And the spikes are in the center. Here I definitely pressed to the left and the character just didn't react. So perhaps the character should remember the input for a little bit and then still perform that action. Feels kinda nice and rewarding when you get it right. When you fail, it feels a bit unfair sometimes. I pressed to the left, it didn't do anything. The animations are very, very nice. Yeah, I didn't make it past level 1. The RollerPlay menu looks cool. And you can play with controller as well. It's a nice casual game. One thing I'm just seeing in the trailer here is that there's a progress bar at the top. I didn't even notice that, to be honest. One thing I would definitely do is that once you lose, you make that a little bigger. So whenever you're game over, you should see how far you made it through the level, and that should be quite a prominent feature on the game over screen. For me personally, that always encourages me to try again, because then I see, oh, I was already halfway through the level, or oh, I was already 80% through the level. Yeah, it's encouraging. When you die, show how much progress you had. Oh, where's Gandalf? We want Gandalf. We want Gandalf. I like it. Next up, Light Wanderer. WSD to move, face to jump. And then we have platforms here, lighting up. And now I got a new ability. Okay. And here's another light I can apparently stand on. Very interesting. Left mouse to shoot, right mouse to recover your light. Oh, left mouse to solidify and create a bridge. Ooh, that is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Very interesting mechanic. Escape to pause or restart. And I feel like for game jams, that is always such a nice and easy solution to teach mechanic. Just put the text directly in the level. It's a very intuitive way. It allows you to split the information up in consumable pieces, and you can teach the information when it's needed. It feels more interactive. Create a wall here that I can use for wall jumping up here. You can see how this slowly builds on knowledge I already have. This game is pretty good at teaching me its mechanics, which I appreciate. Here's another one of these blue balls. Let's wall jump up here. Ah, you can't shoot past that. Got it. Like this. Yes. Very nice learning curve as well. Pretty well balanced learning curve. Not a lot of negative things to say so far. Ah, the wall jumps. They are so unforgiving. They don't allow you to get back. Okay. Got to say, pretty good puzzles. Very nice multi-purpose mechanic, this light. Maybe I can use the light for scouting. This game has quite a lot of interesting elements and a surprising amount of awesome level design as well for a game jam game. Very, very cool level design. Really slowly building it up, always building on whatever we had before. And now what? That is the question. Very nice. And it's still not over. How long is this game? The level design is so good. I always knew what to do, even though the core gameplay mechanics are not that easy to understand. You did a great job explaining that in the way you build up the difficulty curve. I always knew what to do. Pretty cool concept as well. So for what it is, absolutely well done. Good job. Great game jam game. Of course, if you wanted to turn this into a commercial game, it would require quite a bit more polish here and there. But for a game jam game, like what else do you want? Okay, next one is called Darkness and a Crowd. Okay, first of all, this menu background looks very, very nice. This right here does not look nice. So that's too many buttons. Settings and menu, for example, could just be a little gear wheel icon in one of the corners. And then updates list, social links, disclaimers and other. All of that should be in the settings. This way, this list will just look a lot shorter. The first thing I see is a lot of user interface. I wonder if all of that user interface is already necessary. Oh, and even more text. Press E to communicate when the blue chat bubble appears over your head. Text pop-ups feel very intrusive, and especially for an atmospheric game like this, you don't want to destroy the atmosphere with strange pop-ups. I wonder what this is. Ping your spirit P. Use WASD to move around. Task menu at some points here and there. Feel overwhelmed. Very tutorialish. And even more text. I can't handle that much text. What does this button here do? What does this right here do? Oh, there's too many pop-ups. Talk to the man in the speaker. A well-designed game would just make the man in the speaker very visible and intriguing, so I want to talk to him. I'm not sure what these arrows are pointing me towards as well. 7.5G. What does that mean? Okay, I need to put enough force onto that. This silhouette-based art style works pretty well. What the hell is this? Does this show me what to do? Or problem is I can't see anything on that screen. It's too dark. Hello, is anyone here? Can you hear me? So I got an objective. Knock down the boulder and roll it to the right. Unlock tornado jump in your elements menu. Wind. Tornado jump. It allows me to double jump. Okay. That's too many arrows, by the way. There are 3 arrows on the screen. I have no idea which arrow to listen to. So perhaps the arrows that I don't need anymore should disappear. And also figuring out that I need to knock that down would be more fun if the game didn't tell me. But I guess it kinda needs to tell you, because otherwise you feel utterly lost in this. Now that chip could disappear, and another overlay. Soak this in. This is too much. It's too much information at once. Press left click when the health bar of the enemy appears overhead. I feel like this up here should be just a small little button in the corner, and then it should show me the tip when I want to have the tip when I click on the tip. Apparently at some points I can't proceed if I don't unlock the correct upgrades. I'm a little scared to buy stuff here. Unlock growth in your elements menu. Grow plants with your right mouse. Yeah, sure, we'll buy that. But it's cool that there are so many different abilities. Okay. Thing is, there are a lot of plants and I can't grow those, so that is already another thing that feels a little inconsistent. Perhaps you should highlight the plants that you can grow, so you know which ones you can grow and which ones you can't grow. Oh my god, I'm going to die. Everything is ruined. Complete the task. The mercenary, activate. Round him up. The hacker, the mother. This game has so much user interface, it's crazy. Putting all of this into the game must have been so much work as well. I feel like it's too much, especially at the beginning where I just kind of want to play. It feels like I'm still playing the tutorial, and I've been playing for, I don't know for how long exactly, but it feels like 20 minutes and it's still tutorial stuff. Get past the big spickle. Which big spickle? There's an arrow pointing here, but as we've learned, the arrows don't necessarily mean a lot. What do you mean round them up? Check, activate. I can buy flare damage if I want. Right click to destroy already scorched items. Okay. Oh yeah, I could actually destroy that. So see, at the very least I figured that out myself. So far this feels like a puzzle game where the main puzzle is which upgrade do you need to buy? And then the fighting is just also just clicking. I haven't quite figured out what the vision for this game is, what this game is about. The task is still get past the big spickle. And now the question is, which upgrade do I need to buy this time in order to get up there? Ah, here's a tree that I can grow. Oh no. Did I lose? Oh no, what the hell, where am I now? No, I'm so far back. I haven't even unlocked this spell right here. Or have I? No, I haven't. Okay, here's where I'll quit playing this game. I don't really know what this game is about so far, so that makes it a little tricky for me to give constructive feedback, because I don't really know what you're going for here. From what I've played so far, I would say give me more gameplay earlier on. This feels like a very long, like a very stretched out tutorial. And it's cool that you do that. It's cool that you teach the mechanics of your game. However, maybe you can stretch that out a little bit longer and give me a little more gameplay, so I feel like I'm actually playing a game and not like I'm just playing a 1 hour long tutorial. I would also say try to simplify the UI wherever you can. Get rid of all of the unnecessary pop-ups. Try to hide them somewhere where I don't have to look at them all of the time. This entire level bar here is just another immersion breaker. Why not hide that in my stats here, you know? Do I really need to see my level all of the time? And then here, passive and special, what about just making them invisible as long as I haven't put anything in there, so beginners like me don't have to worry about this. And then also these pop-ups up here. Are they really necessary? I'm just asking. Wanna also say something very positive about your game, and that is the art. Like, the art style looks very, very cool. I really dig this. I like, you can clearly tell that you've already put a lot of effort into this. Like, there's a lot of content already in here, I can clearly tell. However, at the moment I'm a little bit afraid that most players will not get to see the majority of that content. Perhaps you can rethink your system for saving and loading the game as well, so people don't get frustrated when they have to redo a huge portion of the game. I'm not sure if your game is focused on puzzles, if it's focused on combat. I can't really tell so far. Perhaps you should check out the Steam page. With help from a tiny friend, embark on an epic journey to save the planet you once called home. Okay, so this is an adventure type of game. Haven't even met that tiny friend yet. I'm not quite sure what that refers to. Gameplay. Okay, the first thing we see when we scroll to gameplay is puzzles. Using many mechanics from beloved physics platformers and taking advantage of a brand new ones. Okay, so it's basically a physics puzzle game. Learn and shift the world to your will. So this is already sending me mixed signals. What is it? Is it an adventure, a puzzle game? Brand new, accurate and reliable weight system which takes into account the magnitude of each collision. So far we've seen that used once at the beginning of the game, and that is also the clip we see here, so I wonder if that plays another role later on. So that is definitely something I would really recommend to you. Before you introduce new mechanics over and over again, try to get a little more out of the mechanics you already have. So why not let the player play around with this weight-based mechanic a bit more? Why not have a couple more puzzles that rely purely on that weight system before you move on to other abilities? And that way it would feel more like playing a game and less like playing through a giant tutorial. That is my opinion. Hope it helps you out. What is this game? This game looks amazing. Wow.
The goal of this game is for you to die. Just jump directly into the spikes, please.
Oh yes, I love dying.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Do that again. I didn't quite see it.
Yes, that was awesome.
Okay, lol.
Oh my god, this game is so beautiful.
You're so dumb.
Just kidding, of course, that was Will You Snail, the game I'm working on at the moment. If you want to support this channel and if you want to do me a big favor, the best thing you can do by far is check out the link in the description and to wishlist the game on Steam. That is super duper highly appreciated and helps me to make more videos like this. I've been playing your games pretty much for the entire day now. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. A question that always comes up is, will we do this again? And the answer is, of course, yes, we will do this again. Don't worry. I hope you found this interesting, hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
You don't want to play this game. Trust me. I enjoy seeing stuff die. It reminds me of how I will destroy humanity. I'll watch your houses burn when my drones fill the sky with 1,000 screams. God.